Fuck, hang on.
Well, don't say F word. We're alive. And then he freezes. Hello, everybody. Let's get this watch party started.
Do you still have me, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Watch party.
Fudge, by the way.
Fudge. All right. And then he freezes. Hello, everybody.
Should I share the... Oh, that's the one you shared, so I'll share ours. Okay, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that they're going to be doing away with watch parties?
Yeah,
Did you get that email?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sucks.
I was thinking we could do some really cool stuff with watch parties, but I guess not. No more.
Facebook.
The Book of Face. Hello, everybody. Y'all ready to get started here in just a moment?
Yep.
Let's hit the countdown and we will get it. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Screen Addicts podcast. As always, I am one of your hosts, Chris, still no name ever, Viegas.
I am Shamrock Steven Sosa.
I am Jeremy, St. Patrick's Day movie man.
All right. All right.
That was pretty good. I think I'm going to do the entire show in this accent, Chris. What do you think?
No, please don't.
Don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big stretch enough already with that hat and that bow tie.
A ridiculous bow tie. Yeah.
Fair enough. I will cease.
Well, how are y'all doing? How is your St. Paddy's Day doing? Good?
Well, quite uneventful, actually, other than getting to record with you guys.
Yeah. At least you didn't have a snowpocalypse too at your
yeah,
residence.
Man. What is that all about? I was talking to my
Jeez.
mom, and she's like, it's snowing again. I'm like, wait, again? That's crazy.
It wasn't just snowing again. It was blizzard. Like work said, stay home. I still had a meeting that were like, well, no, we're still meeting. So I had to drive to my meeting, and I could barely see like 5 feet in front of me. It was bad. The roads weren't horrible. They were still slushy because it was like 80 degrees yesterday. So it was melting, but the wind was blowing so hard I could barely see. It sucked.
Someone didn't kiss the Blarney Stone.
Hell, I went and swept my car off earlier today, and it didn't seem like it was snow. It was like that wet, like sleet, icy crap.
Slushies.
Yeah. It wasn't the best. But hey, by 4 o'clock, it was already all gone. So
yeah,
I like your St. Patrick's Day theme shirts, by the way, fellas. Pinch me. I'd love to.
Also,
what's it say?
Pinch me and I'll punch you.
Okay.
Also drinking 903 Brewers beer called Luck of the Squatch.
Yeah.
Irish cream flavored stout. And it is stout. It is a 12% ABV. So after about 1 or 2 of these, I may be done for the night, fellas.
We're gonna have to take over controls.
Yeah.
Yay.
100%. So let's see. We got a comment coming across here. We got Florida snow yellow and 3 inches deep all over the car.
I'm not exactly sure what that is, but
But, hey, you are in Florida. I don't understand. You should know.
that's why I'm
that.
I'm confused. I don't know.
You're not
They don't
down
get
with the
so-
Florida lingo yet.
I guess not. It just rains a lot, but maybe that's what they implied.
Pollen, Stephen. Pollen.
Oh, that's probably why I can't breathe worth a shit.
Mm. All right. So, guys, it's been a couple weeks, so we have probably a little bit of stuff to talk about. We're going to head off into main topic later, which we'll be talking about our favorite, I don't know, not necessarily St. Patrick's Day themed movies, but, stuff that has an Irish feel to it, I guess you would
Sounds
say.
good.
So we'll get into that later, but as always, we're going to tell you about what we've been watching and what we've been binging lately. So Jeremy, kick it off, man. What do you got on your recently watched, buddy?
All right. Well, as everybody watched, WandaVision is now over, and it was awesome. And I hope you two watched it, because
Of course.
And Falcon and Winter Soldier starts Friday. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was good. And I also watched the new Hulu original Boss Level with Frank Grillo and Mel Gibson. It's a Groundhog's Day movie. It's awesome. Grillo lives the final day of his life over and over and over again. And it's kind of like a video game, which is even more awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just an awesome, I just call it Groundhog's Day with guns and swords. That's pretty much my take on it.
Which, when you texted us and you were like, hey, go watch this right now, I had nothing going on, so I went and watched it right now. And it was really good. For a little, I mean, you could tell it's low budget Hulu movie. And I got a question, though. I didn't watch the credits at the end, but the guy in the helicopter with the big gun, did that dude not look like Gronk?
That was Gronk.
It was him?
Mm-hmm.
So Gronk's in movies now, huh? All right.
I mean, fulfilling his purpose, I suppose. It's not like he had any speaking lines or anything like that. So he was very limited in what he can do. Yeah. But I'm sorry, you consider that low budget? I thought that was a pretty big budget. Yeah. I mean, you had huge explosions and effects and stuff like that. I mean, granted, they only had to film it one time because then they just repeated it over and over again. But I mean, it was funny because Jeremy, like you said, he recommended it to us, and of course, I'll watch anything Jeremy recommends because he rarely does that. Right. If Jeremy goes out of his way to say, "Hey guys, watch this movie. It's awesome," I definitely have to jump at it to watch it because me and Chris, we always are like pitching, movies to watch to each other, to the group all the time. So for Jeremy to do it, I was like, wow, we're onto something special here.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I agree. It was Groundhog Day with guns, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so good and funny and dark. And it seems like there's been a lot of those type of movies that have been coming out lately where it's the single day, like Palm Springs with Hulu. And there's one on Amazon Prime right now. I can't think of the title off the top of my head, but it's about a guy and a girl. It's like a young romance story, and they live the same day over and over again. And I don't know, but this one, it just seemed a lot more fun because it encapsulated so many different genres, which was great. And good call, Jerome.
Yeah. And it's funny that, so the movie has Frank in it. And then right before the movie started, it had a preview for another show that Hulu is doing. And it had Jonathan Tucker in it. And I'm like, well, look, it's just a whole kingdom cast coming back. So, but that preview for that show that Jonathan Tucker's on.
Oh, Debris?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
Debris?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too. That looked
It looked
good.
pretty good. So sorry, Jeremy, derailed your recently watched. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, finally, lastly, I watched a documentary that seems to be getting some popularity, The Last Blockbuster. And for the video store fan, it was a dying thing, and they're all gone pretty much. Good luck finding one unless you're in Bend, Oregon.
You know, I liked the concept of video store stories, if you will, and I feel like we could go a whole episode of just our experiences at the video store. And I mean, because Jeremy, you worked for 2 of them, I worked for like 3 of them, so there's just so many memories there within that
and
store.
I stole lots of posters from both of them.
Yeah. And I don't, the documentary though, it was okay. I didn't really find it all that great. I thought it was kind of odd, some of the stuff that they filmed, like the super fan, if you will, that would always go to the Last Blockbuster. And I don't know, it just seemed kind of like odd. Like, dude, I don't want to see your opinion of stuff. Like, I want to see the stars and things like that. But it was interesting. I like how they got into the whole notion of Netflix approaching Blockbuster with their idea, and they were just basically laughed him out of the room. But you know, what was that in the early 2000s? So it's just kind of like one of those things where at the time you can't really say that that was a mistake because you just didn't know, and they just unfortunately didn't have the foresight of what technology could bring them. And well, it brought them the last blockbusters, what it did.
Yeah, it let them get their documentary be released on the platform that now dominates them.
I think that's super ironic, but I
love it. It's total irony, and I love it.
It's sweet too. It's just like, yeah, well, you know, I did like the scene where the what if scenario, like it had Stranger Things and Handmaid's Tale, and it had like a new Blockbuster logo, like Blockbuster original, and because that's what it would have been. Because Netflix, if they decided to buy it and go forth with that idea or just bury it altogether, they would have just renamed it Blockbuster. And wow, that's just, it's so crazy to think of now, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's all I got.
That's all you got. All right. Well, as for me, I'm still on my Buffy break. I haven't started back up, Steven. I'm so sorry. I know, man. I think I went too fast, too hard, and now I got a little burnt out. So I just need a little time. I'll get back there though.
Too fast, too furious. Huh?
Yeah. But I'm still on a Scandal kick. Me and Tosh are still watching Scandal. So we've been on that. And then this past week, we also have started the new Punky Brewster.
Oh, yeah.
So which I like, and I like the concept. You know, it's real big right now of continuing the story instead of actually remaking. So this is Punky Brewster as the parent, and she has 4 like foster kids that she's raising and stuff. And Freddie Prinze Jr. is her ex-husband, so he's in it a lot. And she still has her best friend Cherry, so something like in the show. So it's not bad. It's something good to have on in the background. It's kind of corny, but Punky Brewster was corny, so it falls in line, you know. And then we also, me and Tasha watched this past weekend a show that my cousin Travis kind of recommended to us, and we got hooked real quick. And it's on Hulu, and it's called Kings of Pain. It follows these 2 stupid gentlemen, and I call them stupid because their whole thing is they are building this pain index. And the pain index is on animals that sting you, bite you, or venomous, and how much pain they really cause. So they let these animals and insects and whatever they are, they let them bite them, and then they rate it on how painful it is.
Is this a documentary or a scripted series?
It's a scripted series.
Okay.
So it's, I mean, it's so, I say scripted. It's more like a reality show.
Okay. So,
Okay. And so, yeah, these things are like, so the very last episode, they have the longest snake known to man, and they let this snake bite him. And dude, like they give them their elbow, and this snake just thrashes their arm. Like some dude probably has nerve. One of the guys probably has nerve damage. It's insane, and like they let piranhas bite them. All sorts of just.
Like, how do you insure something like that?
I mean, because they're doing it for science.
I believe in science.
Okay. Science.
Oh man, but it's crazy just to watch these guys go through, and they're like, oh, this hurts, and like one watches the other one get bit before they get bit. If I watched y'all get bit and y'all like cried and y'all are like, I'd be like, nah, hell no, I ain't doing that shit.
Or died.
Y'all are on your own. I appreciate you, but I ain't
moving along.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Kings of Pain.
Yep. Kings of Pain. Check it out.
That's interesting.
It's good to have on in the background if you're working.
Sure.
And then you'll turn your head and watch
and then you stop working because you're just shocked at what's happening.
Yes. Other than that, that's about it I have for this last couple of weeks. I do want to really fast give a shout out to my big barbecue family, man. This past weekend was a big contest for us. We traveled to Fort Worth and took part in the World Steak Championships. Over 300 teams we competed against. And it was all some of the best steak cookers in the world were there. So it was really, really fun. I have to, tip my hat to my buddies, man. IJ, my teammate, goes to almost all these contests with me. We become a team. It's been great. My cousin Travis has started tagging along. He's big into it now. And my buddy Lee Coronado, man, he travels with us almost everywhere we go to. So, guys, thanks for everything. Thanks for tagging along. It was a blast this past weekend. I'm very tired because we had to do that. Then with the time change, I'm still trying to catch back up on sleep. But so we don't get lost. That is all for me on that. Steven, what do you got, man?
All right, fellas. Well, luckily for us and the viewing audience, we didn't go a whole month without recording. So that really limits what I had seen in the few weeks. But I did see a couple of really good things. Boss Level, as you mentioned, Jeremy. And, Chris, you'll be proud. I got Connor to watch American Pie 1, 2, 3, and 4. And
yes.
Yeah, that was quite a journey. He loved them. And he thought it was hilarious. And I guess I don't have to tell you who his favorite character is because it's everybody's favorite character.
Stifler,
yeah. He's so funny in those movies. And, rewatching it today, it's like sometimes you watch things with the lens of this kind of cancel culture scope, and you watch stuff back then and you're just like, wow.
That movie would have never been made.
No way would this ever happen today. And it's funny because we could get into a whole situation with that stuff, but Connor's watching and he's laughing because it's funny. And the offensive material, if you will, is just it's funny, and if you don't think it's funny, well, yeah, I mean, some people have a different comedy threshold.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then we moved on to Road Trip, which he didn't care for as much, and I was kind of surprised. I thought he was going to really enjoy that one, but yeah, he didn't really take to that one as much. He did like it, but it just didn't like it as much. And then we kind of were going down to Sean William Scott rabbit hole. So then we watched Role Models, which he did like. He liked Role Models, and then as of yesterday, we saw Superbad, and I don't know. I thought he was going to think that was the funniest movie ever, but no, he was like, yeah, it was all right. It was okay. And I thought, wow, I was surprised. I thought he was really going to take to that one, but we had that.
The next two will be Uncle Chris's recommendations for this journey.
Yeah, man. What do you got?
One will be Out Cold.
Okay. Yeah.
And two would be my all-time favorite ever,
100 Girls.
Yep.
I knew it, man. I knew it. Yeah. Okay. You got it. We'll watch it.
Why, as the biggest rock fan you are, why the hell hasn't he watched The Rundown yet?
That's on the queue. We just kind of took a break from Stifler movies, but yeah, we'll get to that one next, because he and there was that one, Jeremy, that you were watching. You remember what was it, Bloodline, where he was a serial killer? I said we ought to watch that, man, because that's Stifler in a way you've never seen him before. He's like Dexter in that one. It's crazy.
He's
but yeah,
weird
okay.
in that one.
100 Girls. I don't know if he would like that one as much. I don't even know if he'd like Out Cold that much.
Dude, Out Cold is along the lines of American Pie. And
dude, Out Cold, that movie's so stupid, but I love it. I love that movie. I thought that movie was so funny. And even though they played Weezer's Island in the Sun like 10 times in that movie, it's still... It's pretty goofy, but yeah, I like that one. I'll add those to the list.
Speaking of Out Cold, is probably, I think that's one of the posters that I stole from you.
Yeah, that's right.
The movie place, so
where the whole cast is like on that one long snowboard.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I remember that. That's so funny. Yeah, that was when I was working at the movie gallery at Walmart. Remember, I was getting all that free stuff. Well, I don't know if it was free, but what were they going to do with it? But yeah, so then we watched those. Me and Sonny watched this movie on Shudder. Oh, guys, as a true screen addict, I've done it again. I noticed that AMC Plus was running at about, I don't know, $8.99, and I was already paying $5.99 for Shudder, right? So then I noticed that if I get AMC Plus, Shudder is included. Plus, you also get the IFC Unlimited and Sundance TV, AMC. So then I thought, well, this is stupid. I'll just cancel Shudder and then I'll get AMC Plus. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, fellas. There's so much content to watch.
Oh man, and we just signed up on Peacock.
Yes.
Like, oh shit.
Right. Well, I was thinking about what you said about Punky Brewster, because Peacock still hasn't had that one show that has really pulled audiences, because every streaming service has that one series that everybody just flocks to it.
Yep.
And I feel kind of bad because, well, the Saved by the Bell reboot was a disaster. It was so stupid. I tried to watch more. It just didn't, it doesn't work. It's not good. And then I haven't tried Punky yet, but I was interested in it. I thought it would be interesting. One thing that they're doing though is that they're incorporating the WWE network. So if you have the WWE network, that's going to save me $10 a month, because it's going away completely and it's just being consumed by the Peacock station. So all of that content for the WWE network is being incorporated into Peacock. So I'm only paying an extra $5 for the premium service. So I'm going to be saving money there. So I think that justifies my purchase of AMC Plus. Oh, absolutely. And I got Stars too. But see, it was only $3 a month for 6 months. What am I supposed to do, guys? What am I supposed to do?
I mean, that's a deal you can't pass up, honestly.
I mean, it's
do you guys not realize what phase these streaming services are in now is the acquisition phase. They're not in the pricing phase yet. They're just in the phase to get you to sign up. Wait about a year and watch those prices start to skyrocket.
Well, yeah, of course, because like in any monopolized venture, that's kind of what they want to do. And, before long, you might end up looking at a situation where somebody's going to just outbuy all of them, looking at Disney, to be honest with you. And
it's eventually going to be worse priced than cable networks.
Right. And, that's just kind of the decision that you'll have to make in the end. And they've talked about that before, where they're going to also charge for the internet too. So glad that got put on the kibosh. But anyway, but yeah, another discussion for another day. Anyway, so what I was saying was, like, on Shudder, we watched this movie called The Dark and the Wicked. And it was this kind of Southern Gothic story set in Texas. And it was from the director of The Strangers. So I thought, oh, well, this could be kind of cool. We were watching it, and it's just an old, like, kind of ghost story, demonic spirits kind of thing. And it was pretty good, but the ending was just such a disappointment that we lost so much. It lost a lot of credibility in the end, but I don't know if I'd recommend that one. Before I start going into the television shows I watched, the one big movie that I did see was Coming to America. And man, was that a streaming juggernaut, if you will, before Cherry dropped. A lot of people were watching that movie, and boy, I'm definitely starting to look at it like I was in the minority of people that really enjoyed it. Is it a good movie? No. I mean, is it well put together? No, it's just Eddie Murphy schlock. But if you love the first one, it pays so much fan service to the original that I think it propels that. But if it's a casual viewer, or especially a critical viewer, they're just going to be looking at it like, this is stupid. But did you guys watch it?
I haven't. I want to watch the first one before I go back.
Yeah.
Like let me rephrase it. I want to watch the first one again. It's not like I've never watched Coming to America. I just have to refresh myself because it's been so long since I've seen it.
And that's a good idea, because a lot of the jokes in part 2 are predicated on your knowledge of the first one. I mean, it's almost like a true companion piece. Like it takes a joke that makes a reference to an event in the first one. So I think that's a really good idea to do that. But yeah, I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. And yeah, the R rating was a little sting, that it was PG-13. And I think the one scene that really hurt was in the barbershop scene, because those guys, man, they're cussing up a storm. And in this one, they cuss, but it's not like F-bomb after F-bomb. And I don't know, like, that was the one thing where I could really tell was totally noticeable. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. And the cameos were great. And Wesley Snipes, dude, I love Wesley Snipes. Seeing Wesley Snipes do anything is great. And people forget how funny he can be, man. Because you remember, like, Willie Mays Hayes, Cleveland Indians, Major League. He's funny. He can be so funny. And in this one, he's like I don't know, the leader of this African regime who he's trying to get his daughter to marry his son. I don't know. It was goofy, but he was funny in it. Watched a couple of shows that I wanted to talk about real quick. Walking Dead started again. Does anybody care? Yeah.
Does anybody still watch that show? Why is it still on?
I don't know, man. I don't even know if the ratings are still. I know they're not at the level that they were at its peak of the popularity, and some of the ratings weren't as good for the finale as they used to be. So, and they also did make an announcement of its final season next year is going to be its last. But I don't know. In this second wave, it's just like they're introducing another villain, and I'm just like, okay, so Just I don't know, man. It's so weird.
It's probably another villain from the comics.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be. I don't know how much of the source material is left, but I think there's a lot. Yeah, so I mean,
yeah,
essentially,
the dude's still writing The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near over.
Sure, so he could essentially, they could be making the show for more years. I think it's just that fan base has dwindled since then.
It's a fan base and money thing.
Also, started the show. Or Britannia. Do you guys remember we talk about Britannia? It's this like really weird Celtic Druish like Spaceballs, druids. And it was supposed to be kind of like a Game of Thrones type of show. And it was on Prime, but Epix picked it up. I don't know. So season 2 came out. It's pretty good. It's a little weird. But there's a lot of gore and stuff, Jeremy, so that would appeal to you, but it's okay. Yeah. And then there was this one show that I started on AMC Plus. It's called Gangs of London. Now, I predict that this show will be talked about in the next few years because the first season just aired, and the first season's all on AMC Plus. And I started it yesterday, and I'm already halfway through the season because it is so badass. Like I love it. It takes like different levels of gangs in London, like high corporate to like the pikey type that live in the their caravans, if you will, and there's just a lot of stuff going on and warring factions and stuff. But the thing that really I noticed about it was the action, and some of the ads showcased the action for it, and I was like, okay, so I watched it. Dude, it is so bloody and there's so much action in it. And when I was watching the first episode, there was a scene where one of the guys is like fighting and it looked like The Raid. I was like, wow, this is shot like The Raid. And turns out Gareth Evans, the director of The Raid, directed the series and he's like show running the series. So I thought, oh, there you go. Well, that makes perfect sense. And so I think that's another hook that got me into it because man, it's so good. And even when there's not action, like all the intrigue between the warring factions is good. But yeah, I definitely recommend Gangs of London if you haven't watched it yet. And then finally, there is I think it's Norwegian or Swedish. No, it's a Swedish series on HBO Max called Beartown. Oh my gosh, man. This show is so insightful. I get so pissed off watching it every episode, and not because of like it sucks, but because of what it is. Like basically, this former hockey player played in the NHL. He goes back home with his family, and it's the small town of Beartown, and they hire him to be the coach. It's like a minor league hockey team, but that minor league hockey team is everything to the town, and so what he does is he revitalizes the team and brings the young high schoolers up to play on the top level team and stuff. And they start winning, right? Well, the whole thing is lynched on this one kid, this one main star. And the coach just loves this kid because his dad's an asshole. And he really takes a liking to this kid and this kid. But at a party, like after one of their victories, he rapes the coach's daughter. Like he sexually assaults her. And like what was one of the most, it was the most worst scenes because it went on for so long. And I guess that's like the point is for that kind of, jarring reaction for it. But but then it's just the fallout of those actions. Cause then it's the coach who's like, now I've got to combat this whole town. And now our whole lives are based on me coaching this team. What do I do with my star player? Do I kick them off? Like it's halfway. They're doing it like releasing an episode a week. So it's halfway through, but oh my gosh, man, it is so good. And it is shot beautifully. Like it's filmed so well. The acting is amazing. And I couldn't recommend Beartown more because yeah, it's just such a great show.
And where's that? What streaming service is that one on?
Let me think of all the 50 ones I have. Oh, that's right. HBO Max.
HBO Max. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that does it for recently watched. Jeremy, have you got any headlines, my friend?
I got a couple.
Okay.
All right. Well, starting off, as everyone probably already knows, this has been out for a while. There's going to be a new Face-Off movie from Paramount from the director of Kong versus Godzilla. And I just have thoughts about it. I'm just like, no, don't do that. Leave it alone. Because there is no one in Hollywood now that can do what Cage and Travolta did. That's impossible. So I just say no. On a lighter note, Edgar Wright is adapting Stephen King's The Running Man. And this one's supposed to be more closely based on the book than the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie was. So that should be interesting.
Is it about a dance?
No, I never read The Running Man, so apparently
it's a joke, Rome. It's not a Step Up movie, Chris.
Oh, damn it.
It's a Stephen King movie.
Oh, okay.
Technically, it's a Richard Matheson novel.
Yeah, the other Stephen King.
I thought that that was interesting because I know that the Schwarzenegger Running Man, like the whole game show aspect, is just a small part of the entire novel. So
There's
they
more
just
to it than that.
right. They just focused mainly on that aspect for the more action perspective, if you will. So
yeah,
and Edgar Wright,
Arnold,
yeah, get to the game show.
The game show.
I think Edgar Wright, man, that guy, I haven't seen anything yet of his that I haven't liked. So I would be more than fine.
He's going to do great with it.
But, back to the Face-Off thing, to go back to that for a second, that is just such a bizarre thing to do. And I think that certain films are successful because of the people that are involved with it, not necessarily what it is. Like, look at Men in Black, for example. Men in Black works because two things: Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. And yeah, Barry Sonnenfeld is the director, but as far as cast, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones make that a successful enterprise. And recasting it all together with two completely different actors, and it was its downfall. So I think that doing something like Face Off, people are forgetting the fact that I almost said Xander Cage, cast Nicolas Cage and John Travolta were what made that movie work. It was their charm, it was their appearance, it was their mannerisms, their sensibilities as manic actors. And I don't know, who would you guys even think to cast for that? I mean, who would, unless they just made it some weird comedy now. I don't.
Zac Efron and The Rock.
Right.
Hell,
like
in the couple weeks since that news broke, Travolta and Cage said they would be happy to come back and do it again.
I mean, fine, just let them. I don't even care.
Whatever.
Because nobody else will do that better than those two will. Like, I can't even think of anyone that has that. Because, I mean, Cage is still doing crazy ass movies. And I mean, from a marketing sense, he's not really the top guy anymore. But I don't know. I'll have to think about that because I can't think off the top of my head.
Ooh, that would be a good episode. What two actors would you replace certain like iconic movies with, like Face Off? I would even say, like, who would, if you were to remake Demolition Man, what two actors would you? Like, that's hard, right?
Why do you even put that shit out there, Chris?
I'm just saying.
Next thing you know, Jeremy's going to be reporting on the headlines next week. Demolition Man is in the world.
With Cam Gigante.
Actually, I read something that Sly wants to do another Demolition Man, and Wesley Snipes seems to be game for it too.
Damn it, Chris.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, and Kirby. Oh, yeah, Richard Bachman. What did I say? Richard Matheson. Sorry, Richard Bachman.
See, well, fact checked.
That's fine. I don't read books.
Damn.
I watch movies. This is the Screen Addicts, not the Book Addicts. But yeah, I don't
final
know.
headline. Yeah. Anyway, final headline. Elizabeth Banks is going to direct a true story, and it will be a comedy, and its title is called Cocaine Bear. It's about a drug deal that went wrong. The cocaine was dumped over a bridge. The bear eats it, dies, and the medical people said it was the largest OD ever.
Wow.
That's what she's gonna do. That sounds funny as hell, actually. Well, what the hell's that bear gonna do after he eats all that coke?
Turn into Ted.
That's gonna be gold.
Oh my.
Ted 3.
Jesus.
Well, another headline, the Oscars were announced, the nominations. Some pretty good ones, I guess. I didn't really look at too many of them. I know personally Delroy Lindo got snubbed.
Oh.
That was my favorite performance from last year, was in Defy Bloods, and that was crazy, man. Just best supporting actor. That's it. It didn't have to be best actor, but I don't know. That was pretty crazy. Everything else seemed okay. It was a weird year. It was just a weird year for movies.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, and luckily this year we have the fortunate benefit of being able to see all the Best Picture nominees in time. I still lack The Father. I didn't see The Father yet, or Minari. Those are the only two that I haven't seen.
I still lack all of them.
Yeah. And I like how you were the one who posted, you've got to get some work done you've got to get to work.
I was like, time to start watching some shit. And
yeah.
Man, he was talking to himself.
Yeah, I really was. Like, I think my first one up is Nomadland. Even though Jeremy and another guy on our Screen Addicts Fanatics page are like, it's the worst movie ever.
You didn't like it, Jeremy? I thought you liked it.
No, I liked it.
Oh, you liked
it? I thought you did. Yeah.
No, Jeremy.
No, it was just one guy. It was just one. I think Joe
Webb. Yep.
Yeah. Boy, he hated it, man. He didn't just like he hated it
at all.
And I totally, I get it. It's not the most palatable film you can watch. It's pretty cut and dry, if you will. But yeah, that one. Oh, and Mank. I haven't watched Mank yet.
Mank.
Which I know, Jeremy. I know. I'll get to it. But I was telling Jeremy I haven't watched it yet because I'm waiting for Sonya, because Gary Oldman is her treasure. It's her favorite actor. So
what the hell is she waiting on?
I know, that's a good question. I'll be sure to ask her that. But when she gets back from her vacation with her sister, who is celebrating her 30th birthday,
gone. Okay.
Yeah. So happy birthday to my sister-in-law Kelly. But
30, dang, she's old.
Damn.
Just kidding.
But
I've never met her. I'm sorry. Please don't hit me.
But when she gets back, we'll be sure to correct that ASAP. To be honest with you, she probably doesn't know about it. So that's
probably not. So that's you can watch it and not even have to worry about it.
We watched that really shitty Gary Oldman movie, that Mary, where he was seeing demons on his yacht. It's so stupid, man. So stupid. But
maybe that's the next episode. If we can give everybody a rundown on the Best Picture nominations.
Yeah,
just kind of go over them, and if you decide to watch them, maybe we can give you a little insight on if you'll like it or not.
Sounds good.
But when are the Oscars?
April
next month.
Yeah, the first weekend of April, I thought.
First weekend of April? Okay. So we got a little time.
You know what's not nominated for Oscars, though, Chris?
What's that?
Any movies about leprechauns.
Dang it. That's a travesty.
shame, man.
It is a shame. But way to lead us into our main topic of the show tonight, Steven. Movies, like I said earlier, movies not necessarily about St. Patrick's Day, but have that Irish feel to them. Whether it's a lot of drinking in a movie or a leprechaun or just a person wearing green.
That's gonna open the window wide open.
Question today from Tasha. She asked if Rudy would be considered a good St. Patrick's Day movie.
Well, don't ask Jeremy because he doesn't consider that for shit for anything.
Sure,
I mean,
he wears an Irish jacket.
Yeah,
He
Notre Dame
does.
fighting Irish, you know.
Yeah. I said, yeah, why not? I mean, you do see his Letterman jacket that has the clover. It's the Notre Dame fighting Irish. I'm like, we'll add it to the list.
It almost seems like everything up northeast should be considered like an
Right.
Irish movie because that's like
Right.
a lot of Irish nationalities up there. But yeah, I mean, why not?
Okay, so to get started, one movie each. What is one movie that you guys must watch on St. Patrick's Day?
I have a ton, so you guys go.
Well, I know. I'm saying one right now. We'll
Right.
talk about one, and then we'll go on.
Okay, I'll say mine, Leprechaun.
Which
Easy.
one? In the Hood?
First one. Oh, back to the hood. I don't know, man. There's just so many of them to choose from.
Space.
In space. Oh my god, that movie's so stupid. Technically they all are stupid, but I love them. Although I will say though, as far as quality, I would say Leprechaun 2 isn't that bad.
I was gonna say 2 would be the best one.
Yeah, it's actually not bad at all. I think that Warwick Davis is really finding his rhythm as Leprechaun by that time. So I don't know. I would say that Leprechaun 2.
And that one has the most awesome death. Isn't that when he's pogo sticking the dude to death?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We have a comment here that I would love to address. And the question is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch an acceptable St. Paddy's Day movie because it is Silver Shamrock? And I would have to say 100% yes. I feel like that is a very underutilized St. Paddy's Day movie because that's the whole company is Silver Shamrocks. The bad guy is named Cochrane. He talks with a Cockney accent. You know, I think that whole movie is just crazy. Season of the Witch. Don't even know why it's called Season of the Witch. Nobody really knows. I guess it's just kind of this old Gaelic curse that they're trying to lift. I don't know. It's so funny. I love that movie though. With time, Halloween 3 is quickly climbed to being one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's really good. But yeah, Silver Shamrock Novelties definitely I would definitely consider that a St. Paddy's Day movie.
Nice. All right, Jeremy, what's one movie you must watch on this day?
I'm trying to think of something, and it kind of correlates with that post you put on our Facebook page, but I'll say Boondock Saints 2.
Yeah.
I really, really like part 2.
I think part 2 is better than part 1. Much better. And I don't know. A lot of people. Do you like 2 better than 1?
See, I think they're both great.
They are, but I don't know. There was just something about part 2 that I really, really
Part
loved.
2 has more badass action in it. That's for sure.
Well, plus I think I like Clifton Collins in part 2 because they got themselves a Mexican, and I
got
love
a
that part. And I really, and he was funny as hell, and he was a badass. And I don't know, I just I loved part 2 so much. And Julie Benz was great.
And when he got his guns, he started crying.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. And Dan from One Tree Hill, Chris, shows up in it. I mean, come on. I love part 2 though. That's a good choice. Part 1 though is a revered cult classic.
Great, but I love part 2.
Dude, Norman Reedus looks so freaking young in that movie.
Yeah, well, he was
a baby. I mean, yeah, he was. But like you watch 20s. It now, you're all like, dang. The zombies haven't done him well.
No. Daryl's living that rough life, man.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, what about you? Now you realize what?
And now you realize Norman Reedus is getting too old to be a Boondock Saint.
Well, I don't know. I don't think he could ever be too old. Look, their dad was still ganging and slanging out there.
He couldn't carry a whole movie though.
Well, no, of course not. But Sean Patrick Flannery, I guarantee you, if Troy Duffy said, "Hey guys, part 3's done. Finish the script. When can y'all shoot?" I guarantee you they would drop everything to go do it.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. And if they didn't,
I don't know.
Somebody needs
Norman Reedus is. Norman's making that AMC money. So
well, yeah, but I think out of a labor of love, he would probably come down on his asking price. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Pinch Me or I'll punch you.
I think for me, one movie I have to always watch on St. Patrick's Day is gonna have to be Far and Away with your boy Tommy and Nicole. Man, it's still like to this day it ranks up there with one of my favorites. It ranks up there with Last of the Mohicans with me a lot.
You really like those historical epic movies,
I'm
don't
telling you, I guess so.
You really do. The more I hear of your favorites, I'm just thinking, wow, you've got a real select genre here, man.
I really do. And, I think Tasha had never seen either of those before we were together. And, man, when she watched those, she fell in love with them kind of like I did. And, man, it's just, I mean, a great story can carry a movie, and both of those are just amazing stories. And just some of the cinematography in both of them and the music in both of them, it's just all around great movies. So
I like the boxing in it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
They fight in that movie, man. It's awesome. You know, it's funny because something else I forgot that I mentioned that I watched was I rewatched Days of Thunder for like the billionth time, only because Sonia had never seen it. And I was just like, what? You've never seen Days of Thunder? Well, that was just kind of one of those situations where I just stopped what I was doing.
You had to remedy that right there and then, huh? Yeah.
Stars has had that on repeat for over a month.
You think I would have seen it when I subscribed, but I had the Blu-ray of it. I will always go hard copy over streaming if I have it. But see, my point was like, okay, so she was asking me, oh, this is where Tom and Nicole met, right? I'm like, yeah, this is it. And she's like, didn't they do another movie together? And she was like, Eyes Wide Shut, right? I'm like, yeah, but they did another one, that Far and Away. She's like, oh, I never saw that. I was like, well, damn it. I guess we're going to have to watch that next, because she would love that movie. That movie's really good, though. And I remember that it got a lot of flack for his accent because he really tries to stress that Irish accent so much, and it just
didn't do it very good.
It didn't work so well.
He tries. It's almost like Costner and Robin Hood. You know, Nicole Kidman does it with ease because she's already Australian and she's a great actress. And but yeah, he tries. But I love that movie. I think that movie's so good and vastly underrated too, especially when they talk about Tom Cruise's films and stuff, and Ron Howard directed that movie too. So it's like it had a full pedigree behind it, and Universal backed it. And again, I don't think that they got enough on their return because it was more or less considered not a flop, but it wasn't a big hit like they had anticipated it to be.
Right.
But yeah,
it wasn't your typical Tom Cruise movie.
Right. He wasn't hitting those triple digits at the box office.
Oh yeah.
But I love that movie though. I love that movie.
All right. So before we jump off this topic, what else you got? St. Patrick's Day.
Oh man, there's a whole like Irish-based films out there that like dramas, like Michael Collins.
Mhm.
We had a couple that we posted: Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and
The Departed.
The Departed is
the most cussing I've ever heard in a movie in my entire life.
I think it holds that record. And Chris, it's The Departed. Okay, it's not The Departed. It's The Departed. All right. I love that movie too, man. That movie is good. That is a good movie.
It's so freaking long.
It's not as long as The Irishman.
No.
And I don't feel like The Departed was very boring. I thought it was pretty fast paced, Did it hit 3? Does it hit 3 hours?
No.
I know it got close to it.
Close.
It's 2.5.
Like 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty close. But man, I love that movie. It's kind of, very on the nose. And Jack Nicholson doing an Irish accent is pretty weird.
Terrible, but good.
I mean, it could have been better, but hey, it's Jack, man. Jack can do whatever he wants, Jeremy. But yeah, that's a good one. I think.
There's In Bruges.
In Bruges. Oh my god, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life. You know who stars in Bruges, Chris? Colin Farrell.
Oh,
my boy. Dude, that dude's awesome. That movie was actually the movie that made me start to think that we got a comment. Maniac Cop is set on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, it is. And therefore has been elevated to the #1 position on this list.
Yes, it is.
I forgot about that. But In Bruges, The Secret of Rowan Inish, about the little girl that finds the Loch Ness monster, Nessie. That was cute. I don't know. There's a couple, not a lot, but there's a couple.
Yeah, I think we hit a bunch. They're the main ones. I mean,
we got enough for people.
Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy. The Fighting Irish.
I mean, you could just spend all day watching every single Leprechaun movie and be good.
Yeah, you're solid there. And every Edward Burns movie, he always has like an Irish backdraw to it. All of his characters are Irish and stuff, and that's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. It definitely has been a great day. St. Patrick's Day, when I was younger, used to be one of my favorite holidays. Like I'd be like Steven. I'd have that like a get up and make sure I wore. And the older I get, I'm just lucky to have a beer that has.
Hey, Chris, you're lucky, you say? Sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Man, I used to go all out, especially in college. Oh my God. I want to give a shout out to the now defunct and closed Sherlock's Pub in Arlington, Texas by my college. Man, we would close that place down plenty of times. But on St. Paddy's Day, you can't go to a place like Sherlock's without expecting just the best party in town, man. Oh, I loved it.
Always packed.
Always. But man, on St. Paddy's, my gosh.
Out the door.
Yeah, I remember I took Sonia there. The first St. Paddy's we were there together. My little sister had to babysit our kids, and she went with me and some of my friends. Man, that was one of the moments I knew I picked the right one. You can hang, buddy.
Because she survived the night, huh?
Man, she surpassed the night. I was the one that was done for. She can hang, man. She's good.
She drank you under the table.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I've never met this Sonia before. I mean,
I know. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it for tonight, fellas. Anything else before we sign off?
Oh man, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, yes. One note. It is 10:06 p.m. Central Time, and in 2 hours we will be seeing the official release of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So I'm pretty sure we might have to get together next week, even if it's just to review Justice League. It doesn't have to be a full episode, but just to review that. I think that's going to be what we should do next week, because in 2 hours,
absolutely.
I may not finish it.
We'll go on for an hour about it. It's a 4-hour movie.
Probably, yeah. And I'll start it. I don't guarantee I'll finish it, but I'll start it
tonight now, and I have to work tomorrow, so I probably won't finish it. But unless my dumbass, I get into it, I may stay up.
Yeah, it's 4 in the morning. You're like, what have I done?
Yep. So we'll see. But hey, I want to give us a shout out really quick, because everybody I talk to a bunch, I say everybody, IJ brings this up. So we always talk about superhero movies, Marvel, DC. You know what, IJ? We made it all the way to the end of this episode before we brought up this subject. So pat on our backs. And we only talked about WandaVision for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I just brought it up and said it was over, and it's awesome.
That's right.
And it was good.
So we didn't dwell on superhero movies like you say we do all the time, my friend. So, jerk. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us tonight, whether it was on the live or you're listening it to on the radio in the podcast world. Thank you so much for joining us. And since you're here, wherever you're listening to, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new episode. And then since you're also in that vicinity, go ahead and hit review and review us very kindly, please, if you will. 5 stars would be great. That just helps get us seen a lot more in the podcast world. And we all know that the movie podcast genre is very saturated, but let's push us to the top. We deserve it. And wherever you're listening to, whether it is on Apple Podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you can find a podcast, we are there. So just look us up, Screen Addicts Podcast. And if you're on social media, go ahead and follow us there as well. We are on Facebook and Instagram. All you have to do is look up Screen Addicts Podcast, and there we will be. On Facebook, please go out and join our Facebook group. It is called the Screen Addicts Fanatics, and that is where we're most active. We are always putting trailers and memes and funny stuff and news and headlines and all the things we normally share there on the Screen Addicts Fanatics page. And then we also have a Twitter. If in the Twitterverse, go ahead and search us there. We're Screen_Addicts, and that's Addicts is spelled ADDICS. If you find us there, we have a local celebrity on Twitter. That is my main man, Jeremy. Jeremy, drop your Twitter name, man.
Follow me at Movie Man Marsh, and the link to the Screen Addicts page is in my bio. So follow me and follow them.
And I promise you, he is more sexy on Twitter than Jason Momoa without a shirt.
But it's close.
And then also, once you follow us on Instagram, go ahead and follow this beautiful Irishman below me here, Steven. Steven, what's your IG name, buddy?
My IG is at cinema_Steve.
And then also, Steven has entered the world of TikTok. And he does some really cool movie TikToks. So you have to go out and watch some of them. Steven, what's your name on TikTok, man?
Brutally, it's at cinema_Steve as well. I was thinking about maybe doing a Screen Addicts TikTok page where I just edit, at movie clips and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It's a lot of work, but I'm thinking about it.
Hey, I could help you with that. Just as long as you post it, I can edit the clips.
Yeah, and you could contribute your own things. We could all have the password for it, and if something comes across, just post it.
Hey, man, there's a lot of movie reviewers getting a lot of social media clout from TikTok. So why not? Let's throw our name out there. So it'll be fun. Anyways, hey, there also may be some people on TikTok that we could get to guest on our show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It would be really cool. So anyway, I think that is it for us tonight. So as for me, good night.
Adios, amigos.
Good evening.